Hello, and thanks for watching the Weekend Box Office Report. I'm your host, Daniel Kay. This is for the weekend of October 23rd through 25th. There are two new movies in the top 10 this week, and I think it's safe to say that it was a wonderful weekend for box office figures if you like failure. So, first of all, coming in at number one, The Martian. The Martian made it back to number one because the new stuff didn't quite take care of it. It was followed by Goosebumps coming in at number two. They both made around 15 million and change. Bridge of Spies number three. Coming in at number four, The Last Witch Hunter from Lionsgate. It made $10.8 million. At least they won't have to come up with some really weird sequel name for that one. Coming in at number six, Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension from Paramount. That came at they call it an even 8 million. Perhaps the time for the Paranormal Activity movies has passed. I cannot say. But here's where it gets interesting. Steve Jobs came in, went wide this week. In its third week, it only made $7.1 million wide. They were hoping for a lot more. It is an average of 2,800 per screen. And everyone seems a little bit surprised at that. I'm going to put it down to the Seth Rogen curse. Seth Rogen in Sony Pictures curse. This, of course, goes back to The Interview. And that's two in a row, Seth. I think you're trouble. I think maybe it's time to go into a different business. Yeah, I'm giving Seth Rogen advice. Also interesting, let's see. Rock the Casbah from CRF Pictures, 1.4 million. That stars Bill Murray. It was a quirky, again, it is a quirky little picture. Who knows? Maybe it will take off or something. I can't really say. Nobody can say. Nobody can say. Nobody knows. But I wouldn't count on it. Alright, so... Oh, there we go. Coming in at number 15. It's not even in the top 10, but it's worth a mention. Jem and the Holograms. The not-so-long-awaited live-action version of the 80s cartoon. 90s? I guess it was 90s, because it was after my time. Anyway, Jen made $1.3 million. And it was from a major studio, but they really just bought it from a small studio, and it didn't. I think it only cost $5 million to make, so chances are it will still turn a profit for this little itty-bitty studio, and Universal will reap whatever benefits they can from not having actually put up the seed money for it. So I'm going to call Jem and the Holograms a success. Why not? What have I got to lose? Okay, so all the way at the bottom of the chart at number 98, The Look of Silence from Draft House, Driftwood, I don't know, DRFT. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's Draft House. I'm going to call it Draft House. I don't care. I don't care anymore, because this movie only made $36 on one screen, not the Draft House cinemas in Alamo, Texas, which, as I understand, is a wonderful, wonderful place to see a movie. Probably not this movie. I think maybe people were confused because it's called The Look of Silence. Like if it was The Sound of Silence or The Look of Love or The Look of... I didn't know where I was going with that joke. I'm sorry. I do apologize. Anyway, $36 is $12 a day for 3 days. Yeah, so... one ticket a day. Probably they just sold 3 on Saturday. Coming in at number 96, just 2 spots above, it's brand new, The Looking Glass from First Run Pictures. I know First Run. That made $107, which counts it as a huge success compared to The Look of Silence. Whew. Like I said, not a terrific week for movies. Next week is Halloween, and it'll probably be even worse because they're losing one whole night to Halloween parties. In fact, they're losing their best night to Halloween parties. So, if you're in the film business, consider a career in real estate. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching the Weekend Box Office Report. I'm your host, Daniel Kay. I'll be back next week. Hungover, I suspect.